All right, guys, today I'm going to be going through my top 10 AI coin picks that I think are going to 17x in the next few months. And that's honestly at a minimum. Some of these coins I'm already up over 20x on, and I think they're just beginning. So in this video, I'm going to take you through how I'm finding these coins, why I'm choosing them, and what my top 10 picks are. And you want to make sure you stay to the end of this video. Do not skip ahead, because throughout it, I'm going to give you some information that's really important so that you can do this for yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're following channels on YouTube, you're always going to be a few steps behind. Now, one way you can get a little bit further ahead is by following me on Twitter as well, because I do post there a lot faster. If you're new to Idiot Genius, my name is Matt Stefanina. This is a channel where I simplify crypto and bring you guys alpha early as I get it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing here today is financial advice. All right, with that said, let's get right into it. It's been a crazy few days. If you are newer to crypto, you've probably been a little shocked because we had a correction. Some coins were down 20, 30, 40% in just a matter of hours. And if you're new to this space, that can be a little bit shocking. But what do we see today? Bitcoin is already back up over 100K. Ethereum is corrected 5%. And most of our altcoins are almost back where they left off. A lot of them up 20, 30% today. So what is the important lesson here? If you did not sell yesterday, congrats. You made it through the first of many tests in this bull market, which is these steep corrections. And why does the market go down like this? I remember when I was first starting in crypto 7 years ago, I was so confused. Why does everything just go down and then boom, it pops back up? Well, hopefully it pops back up. Well, the reason is that a lot of people trade crypto with leverage. So what happens is if you put leverage on a trade, say I think that Bitcoin is going to go to 120,000 and I put 2, 3, 5, 10x leverage on that. Well, if the price goes down a little bit, my trade gets liquidated. And what happens is when a lot of people have these leveraged longs, if the price goes down even a little bit, they start to sell off. Boom, 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 get liquidated. Doom. And you see those really steep corrections in the crypto price. So the main thing here is to understand why you believe in certain projects and in the market as a whole. And if you have a strong conviction, if you're like, I believe in this coin because it's doing XYZ and this is the foundation, and I looked at the chart and it makes sense that it wouldn't go down below this price. If you have a strong conviction, you're not going to sweat it when a 20% dip happens, right? But if you're just throwing money at random projects and you see down 20% in one day, obviously you're going to freak out. You're going to think potentially this project is going to zero. Now, like I said, nothing on this channel is financial advice. Projects go to zero all the time. Doesn't mean you should hold things forever. Even if they're down 20%, it could go down to zero. And I'll also say this, a lot of the projects that I'm going to talk about here are projects that I'm personally invested in today. And why would I talk about those? Well, because I invested in them because I believe in them. So I'm not shilling my bags. I don't care if you buy or not. I'm giving you information that I found really helpful. A lot of these projects are things I bought into recently. Some I've held for a while. I will tell you guys everything on this channel is completely transparent. But the one thing you need to know is this video is not sponsored. I am not being paid by any project to make this video today. This is all my personal thesis and thought process. So let's get into it. We talked about the correction. Now, a couple other things you need to know, especially if you're newer in this market, before you get down to things like AI, you need to understand market cap. And we're going to talk about this with a lot of projects. But if you look here at XRP, it's currently valued at $2.42. Now, guys, please don't be this person that tells me that XRP is going to go to $100. Because if I hear another person say XRP could go to $100, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit crypto. Here's why that's not possible. Okay, look right here. This is the market cap of XRP, $138 billion. So the price of $2.42 doesn't actually matter. What really matters is the market cap. And if you go back to here, the homepage of CoinMarketCap, you'll notice these coins are not listed. The price has nothing to do with it. They're not listed in order of price. It goes from 101,000 Bitcoin, 3,800 Ethereum, $2 XRP, $1 Tether, 227. It's completely random. That's because that number doesn't mean anything. The only thing that matters is the percentage change here and the market cap. And that's why these coins are listed by market cap. So when someone says that XRP at $2 could go to $100, that means that the market cap would get to be bigger than Apple, which is the biggest company in the world, $3.75 trillion company. I did the math, and basically 26x. So if XRP got up to around $63, it would make it the biggest company to ever exist in history. If it got to $100, that would literally make it 30% bigger than any company that's ever existed on the planet. okay? So I say that to say you need to understand how absurd and how completely false some of the claims that your favorite influencers or YouTubers or Twitter icons, whatever you're listening to, TikTokers, they're telling you lies. They're feeding you lies, right? If they say XRP could go to $10, that's completely possible. That's a 5x from here, 4x from here. Very doable, very realistic. Anyone that's saying it's going to $100, please unfollow them so you don't waste your money and waste your time. Okay, now that we understand market cap, we're making progress, guys. We're making progress. Market cap is really important because the lower the market cap gets, in general, the riskier the project gets. So in starting off in these AI coins, I'm going to start you off with the higher, bigger ones that are quote unquote safer. Nothing in this space is safe, but something's gotten up to multi-billion-dollar valuation. It's less likely that it's a scam or that it's a rug or that it's just going to go way down overnight, right? They probably have some legitimate tech. They probably have a legitimate foundation or company employees, things that are really moving, and you can trust them a bit more. So at the top of the sort of food chain of AI, we have BitTensor, Tau, we have Render, companies that you may have heard of. They're really well established. They've been around for multiple runs at this point. Those are great ones to invest in that are a little bit more stable. Are they going to do 10x's? Are they going to do 17x's? Probably not. I mean, BitTensor is at a $4 billion market cap. Like, could it get to 40? Absolutely. It's tough. Could it get to 80? Yes, it could, but we're starting to really shoot for the moon here, right? Realistically, I think BitTensor could do a 3x to 5x very reasonably. 5 to 10x would be incredible, but we're starting to get into unrealistic territory past that, right? Again, it's crypto, anything is possible. Now, where I'm going to start is getting into some of these types of coins. Now, this is Desync. This is at a $440 million market cap. So it's big enough that it's somewhat legit, but it's small enough it has a lot of room to run. And when I look at my investment portfolio, let me just say this caveat before we dive into the degenerate stuff. I have the majority of my investment that's in crypto into large cap coins. That's things like Bitcoin. That's things like Solana. That's things like Ethereum. That's things like this project here, Avalanche, which is a chain, does a lot of stuff on gaming. They're really established, $20 billion. If you look at the all-time chart, they had a track record all the way back in July 2021. They started this insane run up to 100, I think it was around $150 was the peak, right? So they've been around, they've been building through the bear market. These are the type of projects and even bigger ones like Solana, like Ethereum, that I'm parking the majority of my crypto investment. Then I'm taking a small percentage, maybe 10 to 15%, and I'm starting to put that into these riskier coins that are a little lower market cap, have a lot of room to run, where I think that I can get not just the 10x's, but potentially the 20 to 50, even 100x potential on some of these lower cap ones. So with that said, you've been warned, don't put all your money into risky coins. Please, trust me, I've been burned in the past. It's not fun. So diving into Desync. All right, so we're looking here at the all-time chart. Now, Desync has only been listed on CoinMarketCap since April. So again, we don't have a lot of data, right? Unlike Avalanche, which is on here for 4 or 5 years, this is less than a year. But what we can see is that it had a really amazing run up here when it first got listed, right? People are very hyped on this project, and then it sort of tapered off. We had this AI bear market, if you will, even though it only lasted several months, and it got all the way back down around 10 cents. And then recently, it's gone back up to 40. So what you need to know when you see this is you need to know why. You need to know, is it the tech? Is it influencers? Who's pushing this project and getting all this hype around it? And when people say do your own research, that means that you come in here, you click on the About tab, and you scroll through this and you read Desync Destra Network, a beacon of true decentralization. Sounds good. Desync transforms the conventional Web3 scene by seamlessly blending the decentralized cloud solution and GPU network in a mutually beneficial arrangement. Are you bored yet? Yes. Okay, this is where most people stop. They're like, GPU, cloud, okay, looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to be honest, guys. I do read the About section of every coin before I invest in. Do I understand it? Sometimes, most of the time, no. A lot of the words in here are just buzzwords. This is literally just a blurb that they put together to sound really good, right? So where the real research is done is you go to Twitter and you want to start following not only these pages, like follow Destra, follow their account, see who is replying to them that has a blue check mark, and start going down the rabbit hole. And what you'll notice about Desync is that it has some of the bigger AI influencers on Twitter supporting their project. Now, does this mean it's legit and it's amazing and it's going to cure cancer? No, absolutely not. But it does mean that when you have a big band of people with large reputations pushing a project in sync, It means that it's more likely to pump when the narrative hits. And this is the most important thing besides picking individual coins that you should take away from this video. The AI narrative is really, really hot right now. As I go through every one of these coins, you're going to see that in the last month, they've all gone up 3x, 5x, 20x. They're going crazy. Why? Because NVIDIA is one of the biggest companies in the world. I think it's second behind Apple, over $3 trillion market cap. And it got there all in the last 2 years, literally exploded. And a lot of people missed it. And so what do they want to get? They want to get that AI boom that they missed. And they get a second opportunity now with crypto, because crypto makes things a lot easier, a lot more seamless, a lot faster than traditional finance does and traditional computing. So as we look at these coins, we're going to see this over and over, this chart exploding up and to the right in the past month. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, it's already pumped. But here's the thing. Retail, meaning normal traders, are mostly not here yet. A lot of the coins I'm going to talk about today, unless you've been in the AI trenches, you're going to be like, what are these projects he's talking about, right? That's great news. That means that most people don't even know about them yet. But eventually, these projects are going to get listed on Binance, on Coinbase. You're going to start to see them on the news being talked about, the new tech that they're doing with AI and crypto, right? And that's when they're going to actually explode. Right now, we're at a $500 million market cap. It's actually not that big. So that means there's a ton of room for this project left to run if it really catches steam. So should you go down and read the about section of these projects? Absolutely. Find ones that you find value in and you think have a real world use case. Absolutely. But more importantly, you need to understand the narrative behind them and the hype behind them. And we're going to talk more about that on this next coin. Now, the next one is OXO. And here is the key here in the about section. OXO AI focuses on privacy, advanced AI-based safety tools, and unique revenue sharing model with its cutting-edge technology, secure transactions, and opportunities for passive income. Okay, so run-on sentence, right? Revolutionizes the DeFi landscape. Sure, everything in crypto revolutionizes something. But the key here is privacy, safety tools, and revenue sharing. Those are three really good narratives because privacy is a huge issue in the world, in crypto, in finance in particular. Now, if we go up to this chart, you'll notice some really interesting things as well. So if we go to this is literally on one day. So we're going to all time. Now, this is an insane chart, guys. This is absolutely insane. This is over the course of about a year. We see this similar pattern that we saw with Desync, with the high and then dropping to a low and then a high again. But here's what you want to understand about OXO. Privacy has always been a big issue, right? But there was a recent lawsuit where Tornado Cash was being sued. They won the lawsuit. And all you need to know is that Tornado Cash is a company that works with privacy in crypto. Them winning a lawsuit means that in general, we are going to be a little more lenient on companies that work in privacy in crypto. That's all you need to know. That's what this spike of boom, 11, 10 cents, 9 cents, up to 40 cents in a matter of, I think this was less than a week. That's all from, here it is, shoom. That's all from another company unrelated to this one, just in the same niche, winning a lawsuit, right? And that's why I'm saying you need to be in this ecosystem. You need to follow these projects on Twitter. You need to follow the influencers that are talking about them, because if you really start to understand why these projects are pumping, then you can get ahead of the game. So I personally am invested in OXO. I got in back here about 19 cents. I rode this up to about a 2-3x. I was really stoked. Everything crashed to the point where I was down almost 50%. I think this went down even lower. I was down like 60%, but I didn't sell. And why didn't I sell down 60, 70%? Because I believed in the vision and I believed in the team to execute it. Was I nervous? Was I happy about it? Of course I was nervous. I wasn't happy at all. I was like, OXO, what the hell's going on, man? We were up 3x. Now we're down 80%. The point is, I trusted in the vision. I didn't invest more than I was willing to lose. And so therefore, I was able to hold through that bear. And therefore, I wasn't late to catch that spike, right? A lot of times this market takes patience and it takes trust. So before we start to get into the smaller tokens, let's talk about investing strategy here, right? Because you see this chart and there's a few different things you could think. One, you could think it's about to retest its all-time high. And if it breaks through that and it keeps this narrative going, it could absolutely explode into what's called price discovery mode, which is when a coin is hitting its all-time high and we don't know what the market thinks it's worth. We're going to find out. We're going to discover what the price should be based on what people are willing to pay for it, right? So that might happen. Other alternative is it gets up around all-time high and the current holders are like, we saw what happened last time here. I'm going to take some profits. There's not enough new money coming in, and it gets rejected from that all-time high and it goes back down. What I like to do in situations like this, if you do some research on OXO, you believe it's a great project, but you're a little wary about where it's at and if it's going to break through that all-time high, dollar cost average. Say you have $1,000 you want to put into a project like this. Put in 150, maybe 200, 250, right? Whatever you think. But give it a week or two, see what happens, put in a little bit more. And this is called dollar cost averaging. You can do this even smaller. Some people literally put in like $5 a day for 6 months. There's programs and certain sites allow you to do that automated. Otherwise, that would not make sense with ETH fees. So you want to make sure you're considering the fee that you're paying in that. But essentially, dollar cost averaging, it breaks up the risk a bit, right? If this goes down a little over the next couple weeks, maybe you put in a bigger piece next time because you know you're getting it at a little bit better price. If it starts to go up and you're nervous you're going to miss it, avoid trying to throw in the whole stack based on one pump, right? You know this market is fickle. Try to stick to your dollar cost averaging and be like, all right, for the next week or so, I'm going to put in here, 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 here. And that's a safer strategy to give you a more of an average entry instead of just hoping that this is a great time to enter. All right, so do some research on that. Now, next we have Oraai. Now, this is a project that I invested in a while ago. Now this chart, as you can see, is really interesting. This has more of a similar chart to what we saw on Avalanche, right? We see this big spike around 2021, 22, where the bull market hit. We see this very long, terrible winter bear market, and now we see things starting to come back and correct, right? If we look at most projects that were around in that time frame, you'll see a similar thing. You see the run up here, boom, this actually went crazy. That's a huge candle back in 2021. And then by 2021 end, it was pretty much done. Not even end, June. So this all happened between the start of 2021 and June. This is 6 months of chaos, right? And then literally now we have 3 years of nothing. And then I got into it back about here and I was able to do pretty well. I think I did like a 2.5x on this. I sold most of it, flipped it into other projects. And now we've seen it's gone back into sort of a bear market here. Yep, we can see the spikes here. This is where I bought on this run up. I think I got to about here. So I actually sold at a pretty good time here. A lot of times I don't. I will be honest with you guys when I am at a loss, but this one I did play well. And I'm thinking about buying back in now because I'm seeing it starting to move and starting to retest all-time highs. But I'll give you the other reason that I'm thinking about buying back in here, because even though I sold off, I still follow the Twitter. I still keep up with updates because projects are always shipping new things and you don't know what's going to come out of the woodwork. So actually just today, 5 hours ago, I told you guys I'm bringing you up to the minute stuff here. We saw this post from Oraichain. We're building the most comprehensive and advanced AI agent launchpad on the market. Are you ready? Now, AI agents, I won't go into that too much here, but essentially they are AIs. A lot of them can trade crypto, they tweet, they do all kinds of amazing things. They've been blowing up. This narrative is huge right now. And Oraichain says we want to be the leader. We're changing the game for AI agents on Solana and beyond, right? So for me right now, this is pretty bullish because this is a narrative that is really hot. Does that mean Oraichain is going to change the world with whatever this is they're building? No, but it does mean that most likely the news is going to spread. People are going to be really bullish on this idea and we're going to see a big pump sometime in the next month or two. So I'm probably going to buy a little bit back in. I'm watching to see what happens. We're actually at a pretty decent price here, down from 15 over the last few days. So I'll probably dollar cost average a little bit in here, wait a week, see what happens, and maybe a little bit more. But the point here is that you want to look at this 1 month, you want to look at the year, you want to see where things are at, and you want to look at the Twitter and what's going on. And then you want to see also who's quote tweeting this, who's replying to this. If we look up here, we see Wiz, Crypto Wizard is a big account, 756,000 followers. He reposted this and said Oraichain is on top of the AI agent narrative, right? Now, again, everything with a grain of salt. He probably has a bag of this. He's definitely shilling his own bags, right? But if you have a lot of people like Wiz, some that are respected more than others, but get a good group of people that are all posting things about this, it can shift the market, especially on something as small as $162 million market cap. So Oraichain right now, I don't own it, but I do think it is a solid project and they've been building for a long, long time. They're one of the OGs in this space. All right. we're going to get to one of my favorite projects here, and this is PinLink. This is one of the craziest charts I've ever seen in my life, guys. Look, this market cap is $279 million, right? So put this in perspective. ORAI, we just looked at, it's a legit project. It's been out since the end of 2020, right? 4 full years of building, and they're at $162 million market cap. Look at how long PinLink has been on CoinMarketCap. This is the 11th of November. No, 14th of November. This is 27 days ago, guys. 27 days, this has gotten up to a $279 million market cap when it took ORAI 4 years to get to 2/3 of that. So why is this running up so crazy? So if we come to the About section, which we always do, we'll see a very short bio. PinLink is helping AI developers drive down their physical infrastructure costs by pioneering the first RWA tokenized DPIN protocol. A lot of words that you may not understand, but what do we know? We know AI is the hottest narrative in all of crypto right now. We also know that RWA is becoming one of the hottest narratives, and RWA, it stands for real world assets, and it's essentially like you're trading commodities, the same way you would trade gold, or you would trade oil, or you trade on the real estate market, right? You buy and sell houses. It's taking those types of commodities and assets and making them tradable on the blockchain. All you need to understand is that people are really, really excited about it, right? Because crypto is so much faster and cheaper to trade than anything else, especially cash. All right, so we've got some strong narratives here, but why is this project going so much crazier than every other project in this space? Well, when I first heard about it, it was around a $10 to $20 million market cap. So really easily movable at that point. And if you go on YouTube now and you search PinLink crypto, you'll see so many videos. Alex Becker talked about it. Altcoin Daily's been talking about it. Miles been talking about it. And these all have 24,000 views, 32,000 views. This was in Alex Becker's Christmas video, 500,000 views, right? All of these are going up about PinLink, about PinLink, about PinLink. So when you have this many influencers that have a large platform talking about a project, it is going to push the price up. Now, the price will only stay up if it's a legitimate project or more people keep posting to keep that price pushing, right? And so what we need to do now is go a little bit deeper and dive into, do we think that this can continue? Now, the reason I said in the beginning to follow me on Twitter at Matt Stefanina is because I didn't hear about this coin on YouTube. By the time it had gotten to YouTube, it had already done an 8 or 10x from where I initially picked it up, right? Where I found it was deep in the replies on PinLink's Twitter, on a random thread of some influencer I follow being like, this looks interesting. And then I went down the rabbit hole and I saw who else followed it, right? And I did some detective work. If you don't have time to necessarily do that, a great way to save some time is to follow me on Twitter, turn on some notifications, and I'll be posting about things as I find them as well. But just remember that YouTube takes a lot of time to film these videos, to edit these videos, so you are getting the information a little bit later. All right, now this video has been running pretty long, so we're gonna get through the last few and I'm gonna show you what they are. I'm gonna leave it up to you again to do your own research. I really highly recommend spending even just 10-20 minutes going through each project's Twitter, diving into a little bit of who follows them and what they're saying about them so that you can get a scope on it. Remember, this should be a small portion of your portfolio. Do not ape all your money into AI coins. The narrative can shift at any time. We saw it with the metaverse in 2021, so don't be crazy here. But right now, I believe that AI is the best narrative to be in. All right, we've got 01 Labs, DEAI. Market cap is pretty low here, $61.98 million, which means this is pretty risky, guys. And if we look at the all-time, you see some pretty steep corrections here. Again, this has only been around on CoinMarketCap since April, so we're looking at about 6 months of data. That same spike we saw on Desync and all the others, this went really low during this bear, lower than a lot of others. So people lost a lot of hope, but an amazing recovery. We almost touched all-time highs here. I'm holding a small bag of this as a bit of a moonshot because it is a pretty small market cap, but this one has a lot of potential and I really am excited about what they're building. Similar sort of structure here, ZKML. Again, same market cap almost. If we look at the chart, pretty similar, right? You're going to see this across the board. And the reason is, guys, these coins are not necessarily pumping because of exactly what they do, being the best tech or the best thing. They're pumping because it's AI, it's narrative. And people in crypto are generally pretty dumb. They hear AI and they're like, oh, let me look at some coins and then some smaller and some super small ones and spread my money around, right? So by you just doing a little bit of research and locking into the ones that you truly believe in the most, you're already a step ahead of 90% of people out there that are just spraying and praying, truthfully. All right, now we're going to get in some really low caps, right? Here we're at $55 million. This is Becker. This is a new one that I just found out about recently, guys. It's actually been around for a little bit as we see the chart, but really mundane. I didn't even hear about it most of this year. It wasn't until somewhere in the last few months that I heard about it. I put in a little bit at I think like a $15-20 million market cap, so we're up like 2.5x, which is pretty good, but I think this has a lot of potential and it's still really early on. Now, these got a little bit out of order, but this is Node AI. This is at $188 million market cap, and this is one of my longest holds in the AI space, at least in this current cycle. I did get into this way back before even this initial pump, and I'm just holding. I love this project. Their site is really sick, and it basically is very similar to what you see NVIDIA doing, offering GPU processing power. They're renting out GPUs for individuals and businesses in need of GPUs, but the site is super clean, really professional, very fun to click around and look at. And I've been staking some GPU on here. It's effortless. Everything's worked really, really clean. And I just really like their tweets. I like the information they put out. They seem really knowledgeable about the project. Again, this is crypto. This could tomorrow just fall off of a cliff. But me personally, I'm invested in GPU. I really believe in it through this cycle. And I think that they have one of the first usable platforms and websites that I've touched that I really feel like competes with anything in the Web2 space, especially the staking features, the renting features. Everything looks really, really solid to me. Now, this one's really interesting. Throwing this one in here is a bit of a wild card. $34 million market cap, so considerably smaller. It's called Open GPU or OGPU. Now, everyone knows the term GPU, right? NVIDIA made it super famous. People know that it means something to do with AI and it makes money, right? So great. The reason that I'm holding some of this one here is simply because this is so degenerate, but I saw a lot of people that are really good at making money in crypto replying about this, not tweeting about it, but replying about it to each other. And sometimes, when I see that, I just place a small bet because more often than not, if really smart people are talking about it, they've already invested into it and they just haven't posted about it yet. So, could that be wrong? Could that be degenerate? Absolutely. I've made some mistakes that way, but also that's how I've gotten into some coins really early. So anytime I do that, it's a really small bag, something I'm not afraid to lose. And I'm going to put a little bit on Open GPU and keep an eye on it. Last one, pure degeneracy at its finest form, a $1.74 million fully diluted. This is probably about the same market cap. Market cap's not even loading because it's so low, but basically, guys, this is probably worth around like $1 million right now. Super, super low. Came across this one also in some tweets, looked up their Twitter, thought it was really interesting. And I was like, you know what? I'll put a tiny, tiny, tiny bag into this because if this really takes off, it's very easy for this to do 100x from $1 million up to 100 million. Almost every other project we've looked at here is 50 million, 100 million, multi-100 million. Is this going to go to that? Probably not. The odds are not in its favor. But I looked through the Twitter, looked great to me. I was like, whatever. I'll throw a small bag on it and see what happens. All right, guys, we're wrapping this video up today. If this gave you some value, almost broke my computer. If this gave you some value, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Follow me on Twitter. Turn on notifications, guys. I'm making videos regularly, as often and as quick as I can, but much quicker, getting you info on Twitter. Remember to do your own research. Do not ape into any of these coins. At least look them up on Twitter. Hope you guys got some value out of this, and I'll see you on the next video.